This video will provide advice on preparing your personal statement. If you wish to further discuss any of these materials having to do with promotion and tenure, please feel free to contact me. Contact information here is below, and email is always the easiest way to find me. In addition, you can find any information you need about P&T on our website. The link is shown here at the bottom of the page. So what we'd like to do in this about 8-minute video is to provide guidance on writing your personal statement so that it gets to the point quickly. It is an opportunity to provide your narrative on your accomplishments, your current activities, and future directions. It needs to be written in a concise, direct manner. It should not exceed 2 pages, and really the best ones are limited to about 1 page. It's used by P&T committees on all levels, from your department to the school to the university. And most importantly, it's used by your referee letter writers who will only have your CV and personal statement as the information that they're going to have to evaluate you in your career accomplishments. So it's important that the personal statement highlights your accomplishments. The emphasis here is on activities and starting as a faculty member here at UVA or your last P&T action. If you moved to UVA mid-career from other institutions, certainly we appreciate your accomplishments at that other institution, but again, the emphasis is going to be on your more recent work. Basically, the committees do want to know what you've accomplished here at UVA. And because of this, your personal statement will change over time. You should always update it just prior to any time that you submit it for use. The personal statement can provide language for other purposes. For example, the letter writers may take quotes from your personal statement in writing the recommendations for you. You can use the language in other purposes, such as in grant proposals, in your NIH bio sketch, for example, or in cover letters, award nominations, promotion packages. This sort of guidance that the personal statement can provide for these other purposes is really very useful. In addition, it forces you, in a sense, to write in a direct and powerful way to communicate. It's a good reflective practice, makes you think about what you do, why it's important. And it can also provide pre-written text that allows you to avoid gender biases that might come up, say, in the letters of recommendation that are written for you. We recommend that you run your personal statement through a software check, looking for potentially gender-biased language. For example, this website here works quite well. Okay, what we really want you to do with that personal statement is to highlight your excellence. Now, first of all, remember this: the CV is what provides the content, whereas the personal statement provides the context. Again, your narrative about what you do. So it should not restate the CV. The CV is always going to accompany your personal statement, so there's no need to repeat what's already there. But you can use the personal statement to help the reader find the highlights in your career. You know, those significant developments in research, clinical work, or in educational work that you really want the readers to pay attention to. So you could also help by pointing out the publications or funding that may have been affiliated with those developments, as well as the results, the outcomes of your work in terms of the awards that you may have won, appointments or invitations that you've received. Again, the emphasis is on activities since you started as a faculty member here at UVA or since your last P&T action. The way that the promotion and tenure is defined is by your areas of excellence. So you want to, again, highlight what's in your achievements that define your areas of excellence, whether that's in clinical, education, or research. And you want to describe how your work impacts these areas that you're trying to define as excellent. Again, you can use specific scholarship, published papers, peer-reviewed or non-peer-reviewed, other forms of dissemination to help define those highlighted areas. How has, again, the outcomes from your work in terms of developing your reputation on a local, regional, national, international scale, also the service opportunities that may have come up because of your accomplishments. It's also very helpful in the narratives if you've had a change in your professional direction, is to take advantage of the personal statement to let the reader know how that occurred. Okay, some of this advice on the style. First of all, remember that this is a narrative. It's not a series of bullet points. It should be proofread carefully by you and others. It's always helpful to have your colleagues perhaps read through your materials. It should be standalone, so you want to avoid using acronyms or unusual names that are not generally found in the literature. Consider your audience, which will, for the most part for P&T, include the referees and the P&T committee members. They are scientists and physicians. They may or may not be experts in your particular area, but they will be knowledgeable. So you want to explain things without using too much lingo. You want to use an active as opposed to a passive voice, make your writing much stronger, more direct. And it's also an opportunity if there are unusual circumstances in your career that you can explain if you wish. Perhaps you spent a couple of years in industry or in private practice. It's a part of your narrative and maybe an opportunity to explain that something that may not really come through in simply reading your CV. One thing you do not need to explain, though, is time off the clock that you may have taken. And we have some examples of good personal statements on our website at this link here. Again, it's always good to seek advice, to look over your materials. A great source of advice can come from both current and former members of the School of Medicine Promotion and Tenure Committee, and they're listed here at these websites. And again, I'm more than happy to go through your materials and discuss them with you if you wish. So good luck in preparing your portfolios. Thank you very much.